Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back to the channel. My name is George, and in today's video we will take a look at the Reiser Alpen Chrono. Now this is my first watch with an integrated bracelet. I don't know if you can see that, and I have to admit, when I actually unboxed this thing, I wasn't sure whether I was going to like it or not. By the way, if you missed that video, I'll put a link into this corner of the screen. Probably, I think it's the other one or not. I never know these things, for you guys to check it out. And I've been wearing this on and off for the last week, 2 weeks or so, and I actually found myself going back to this more often than not, and it's actually grown on me because it's a quartz watch. It fits in with a lot of things in my wardrobe, and it's actually quite nice. It's super comfortable. And I thought that I was going to, the fact that you can't swap the bracelet for, whatever straps you might have around the house might be an issue, but it actually wasn't. Just as a bit of a disclaimer, Reiser have sent in this watch for review. I don't have to send it back, I get to keep it, so bear that in mind as the video goes along. Now let's jump into the video and see what I thought about the Reiser Alpen Chrono. The dimensions are a bit misleading in my opinion, because at first glance the watch looks smaller than you'd think, but on wrist it's not the case. The diameter is 41, but I feel that it wears like a 42, slightly larger, especially on my 6.3 inch wrist. The lug to lug is 53, but it conforms to the wrist quite beautifully, and you do have these half end links that do have very little mobility, but overall the fit is not that bad. Thickness is 11.5, and this is one of the benefits of quartz. And this is with a screw down case back and a flat sapphire crystal. The lug width is 24, but this is with an integrated bracelet where it leaves the case, and it tapers down to 18 where the clasp meets. The weight is a very manageable 138 grams, and it's sized up to my wrist. And I have to admit that this is super comfortable. You would wear this all day. Been wearing this on and off for the last week or so, and I have to admit that this is incredibly comfortable. Like I said, perfectly balanced, and this thing hugs your wrist quite nicely. The style and the shape just about makes this watch perfect for everyday use. Works well with a shirt, and it does blend in pretty nice with a day-to-day casual wear that you might have in your wardrobe. Let's talk about the case now, because this is where it starts to justify some of that slightly higher price for a quartz watch. This particular one is 389 euros, which for some, this might be considered a bit high, like I said, for a quartz watch, but I think this is actually quite decent for what you're getting. We have an all 316L stainless steel construction, fine brushing on the sides, brushing also on top of the bezel, and polished everywhere else. But despite the style, this does not look flashy at all. I personally think that there is a fine line between tacky and tasteful design, and in this case the Alpen Chrono just about nails the tastefully done well. At the 1 and 3 we have the chronograph pushers. At the 1 we start and stop the chronograph, and at the 3 we reset. The pushers are all 316L, and they have this comfortable and confident push, and they fit in the whole AP Royal Oak look really well. At the 3 o'clock we have also the octagonal shaped crown with the R logo engraved on it. The crown is just push-pull, which gives this watch 50 meters of water resistance. Now 100 meters would have been ideal in this case, but as long as you're careful with this, it should pretty much handle your daily abuse. The dial is very well executed. Pretty busy at first, but after you see it once, everything will instantly start to make sense. What I mean by that is that I had watches where the dial always looked busy, no matter how many times I looked at the watch or for how long I actually had the watch. I just could never get used to it. It always looked packed to me. There are a few dial options. The one that I have here is the black variant and is covered by a flat piece of sapphire crystal with air coating. Not sure how many layers, but it is visible from all angles. All the indices are applied, double buttons at the 12, single everywhere else. We have this kind of semi-skeletonized hour and minute hands with this red tip on the chronograph hands. We have 3 subdials, which again you might think look cramped, but they do make sense and they fit in. Once again, I do feel that are like a bit too big, but like I said, everything works well. At the 12 and 9, we have the chrono subdials, 60-minute counter and 12-hour subdial at the 9. The hands on these have red tips, and the seconds subdial at the 6 has white tip. These are small details, but I think they do make a whole lot of difference when it comes to in the overall design of the watch, and in combination with the rest, I think they do actually fit in perfectly. At the 4 o'clock position, we have a date window with no date frame around it, which I think it's a good idea because it doesn't stand out, but it's also visible enough with the date on a white background. At 3 o'clock position, we have the Reiser logo printed in white, and also at the 6, we have the words Made in Germany also in white. In terms of Lume, there's nothing to write home about. BGW9 on the hands and indices, just about enough to make sense of the dial in low light conditions. Now, not particularly the style to be heavy on Lume, but all in all, it could be better. The dial is well put together, with a few flaws here and there, but what I do like is that it still manages to keep this classy vibe and classy tune going out through the entire design. Let's talk about the movement, because powering this we have a Myoto caliber OS10 quartz movement. It's a chronograph movement with an accuracy of plus to minus 20 seconds per month. And if you were to replace this on its own, depending on where you get it, it would cost you between $25 and $30. Personally, I think it was an adequate choice in the case because it's something else rather than the usual Seiko VK64 movement, which, to be quite honest, it's a bit overused. And let's face it, how many people will actually use a chronograph function on a watch and say, I wish the chronograph hand would be smoother, and spring back quicker when I reset it. Still, I wouldn't use that as a deciding factor when I'm purchasing the watch. Last but not least, we're going to take a look at the bracelet. Like I was mentioning, this is my first watch with an integrated bracelet. My view on any watch that has this sort of style is that it has to be good. There's no room for error in this case, because it could either make or break the watch. It could actually be a deciding factor when buying this, because you're sort of stuck with it. Reiser will sell you a leather strap, but if it's not something that suits you, if let's say you don't like the color, or I don't know what it could be, your options are kind of limited. In this case, they did a brilliant job. We have this AP style bracelet, push pins to adjust, and this thing is incredibly comfortable. It's not the first time I mentioned that. I mean, you could wear this thing for a week straight and not have, you wouldn't realize you had it on your wrist. Beautifully brushed finish with a double butterfly clasp, and this thing is fully articulated. So as a first experience, I can't really fault it. For me, this was a very, very, very good bracelet, and I was pretty impressed, I must say. To sum it up, guys, the Reiser Alpen Chrono is a solid choice for the price, who might look expensive at first, but I gotta say, once you had this on your wrist for a week, it all starts to make sense. Now, it's not perfect. The Lume could be better, and I would like to see an additional 50 meters added to the water resistance, but then again, you can't have it all. And I'm struggling to think of another watch of the same kind of AP style case shape with the chronograph function for around the same money that I would like to have instead of this, but I couldn't find any. If you know any, I'll leave a comment in the section below, leave a suggestion. Also, Reiser do make a version of the same kind of case style, but it is an automatic, so it doesn't have a chronograph function. Again, there'll be a link in the description box below if you want to check it out. So that was it, guys. That was my review for the Reiser Alpen Chrono. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it, and also let me know in the comment section below what watches with integrated bracelets you have in your collection, and if you don't have one, which one would you pick for around $400 to $500 or euros or whatever currency you like? Or what's your favorite one? What's your favorite watch with an integrated bracelet? If you liked the video, click a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't so. Thank you very, very much for watching until the end, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.